This is the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping the show on January 24th, 2014. Our time is 8:38 in the morning, Mountain. Our radio show runs on your favorite radio stations. As well, the show is archived on Harold's websites, HESradio.com and rarecoloreddiamonds.com. You can stream the shows there. We are portable as well. Go anywhere you do via iTunes and the podcast. Type in World Financial Report on Radio. You will find us there. Harold does daily market commentary. Find the commentary on his websites and on the podcast site as well. Couple of notes before we start here. We will be on 6:30 CHED. Normally we run Sunday afternoon at 3. We're moving to a new time. The show is moving to Saturday afternoon at 3, and that will start next week, February the 1st. So February the 1st, we will be on at 3 p.m. Saturday on 6:30 CHED. Don't forget, Harold has obviously his websites, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, HESradio.com, but he has hsfineauctions.com as well. The next auction is coming up on February the 5th, 6 Mountain, 8 Eastern. We'll talk about it later in the show. Emerging market currencies causing a lot of problems in the world this week. Currencies plunging, people moving into gold and other hard assets in a major way. Today, we see gold around $12.70. And Citi analyst Tom Fitzpatrick came out with a chart, and you can see it in our free weekly newsletter. You can get it from Worldwide Precious Metals at wwpmc.com or call them at 1-866-623-2002. Get the free weekly newsletter, the companion to our radio show. You'll see this chart from Fitzpatrick. He believes we break $12.70, we could go up $340 in gold very quickly to $14.34 to $16.75 to $1,700. And Harold, it can happen that quickly depending on what's happening in the financial markets. And we're starting to see a lot of people become very concerned about a default in Argentina when it comes to their currency and bonds. And it's starting to spread around the world, which is positive for those that are holding hard assets.
You better believe it, Randy. Again, these are probably the most confusing times that we could possibly be going through. On one hand, you had a very strong rallying Dow Jones stock market in the United States that really doesn't represent the true picture of what the U.S. economy is really doing. So all the markets have been all over the place. Again, it's very difficult to get a direction as to which way these markets are going to go. The best example I can give you is this week with the Dow. It dropped 500 points. On Thursday, the Dow was down 175 points. As we're taping the show today, the Dow is down another 150. It was down 40 the day before that. So we're looking that these markets can reverse and turn so quickly. But again, we know that most of the focus that the government and the Federal Reserve has really focused on is a strong stock market and trying to get unemployment or the employment numbers looking good. We know that most of the news coming out of the White House and the Federal Reserve is mostly lies. As much as I hate to say so, you sit there and you scratch your head and you look at the numbers, and the numbers just don't make any sense. And I think that we can really sum it up. If you get the newsletter this week, it's probably one of the best newsletters because it's really going to open up your eyes as to what's really happening in the U.S. economy. There's other areas of major concern. Europe has not corrected itself in any way, shape, or form, and Europe is still a hotbed, and there's still major economic problems coming out of Europe. But China, that most people think is doing so well, you're going to be shocked to find out what's happening in China. China's not doing well. In fact, China's in big, big trouble, and there's a report in the newsletter about the Chinese banks. There's a major Chinese bank that has shut down. Nobody can get their money out of it. And it was only last year that we saw the same thing in Cyprus. You know, we've talked a lot about that, about these bail-ins and the fact that these banks can close down and not open up again. And that's what just happened in China. Get the newsletter this week. It's an in-depth article on what's happening, you know, with a major bank in China. And again, it's only a matter of time until the same scenarios hit Europe and then here in North America, because the banks are not strong. They have never recovered from 2008. And we're going to see those situations get worse. In fact, if you look at a lot of the headlines from this week, one of the biggest headlines is this Chinese bank closing down and nobody could get their money out of the bank. Then you also had a tsunami of store closings expected to hit the retail markets in the United States, which is going to be terrible for the unemployment numbers, because the fact is that retail employs a tremendous amount of people in the United States, and a lot of them are going to be out of work. You know, the retail market for Christmas was extremely poor, and you're going to see a lot of store closings and subsequently an awful lot of people losing their jobs. Randy brought up the Argentina default chaos as blackouts follow looting in Argentina. Again, these are not representative of strong situations in the economy all over the world. In Canada, the U.S. dollar, the Canadian dollar is plummeting. The loonie is at its lowest level since 2009, and probably not weak enough for the government. They want it to fall a little bit further. You've also got another situation that is frightening. We've talked about this forever, and it now came into the mainstream media today, or this week, and it's in the newsletter, but it's called J.P. Morgan's Fraud, Our Epic, Unprecedented in World History by William Black. And William Black is both a professor of law of economics, and he's also with USA Watchdog. And what they're saying, you got to read the article, but they're saying that J.P. Morgan, amongst other companies, but J.P. Morgan has been one of the biggest fraudsters in U.S. history. CEO Jamie Dimon, who we all know, has presided over the largest financial crime spree in world history. It depends on how you count it, but it's more than a dozen, and more in the range of 15 major felonies that either the United States investigators have found, state investigators have found, or foreign governments have found. The professor goes on to say that J.P. Morgan's frauds are epic in scale, unprecedented in world history. In these $23 billion, we're talking about these frauds that made Jamie Dimon and other senior officials, officers of that company, incredibly wealthy by creating fictional income that led to very huge bonuses. So basically, they paid $23 billion in fines. And don't forget, this was also the firm that backed Bernie Madoff. So you've got some major situations going on. Then there's another major article in the newsletter this week that you also have to read, and it's all about that there's no more gold. You know, the United States could not return Germany's gold, and we've talked about this a lot. One of the major reasons why gold came crashing down from $1,920 all the way down to $1,187 was primarily because it was forced down by the government. And the reason for that is that when gold was rallying for 12 years in a row and making gigantic returns, you know, that was not good for Wall Street, and it was not a good situation for the government. So basically, what they did, and again, this is extremely important, is that most people bought gold through ETFs, through their stockbrokers, through exchange-traded funds. And basically, the laws are pretty clear that these gold ETFs have got to be backed up by real gold, by physical gold, and that never happened. So the fact is that when gold became so popular and went from $250 all the way up to $1,920, what they found out was that it was such a popular investment that the people that bought the exchange-traded funds, there was not gold backing this up. The only recourse that the government had was to bring down the gold market and basically change it from a bull market to a bear market so nobody would invest in it. As crazy as that sounds, that's exactly what happened. Because the fact is that the laws are very clear when they say that when you buy a contract of gold or you buy a contract of silver, it's got to be backed by the actual physical amount of gold and silver. So the COMEX in New York is where all this gold and silver is supposedly stashed and kept. But the fact is that so much gold and silver was purchased that these ETFs got so popular that there was not enough gold and silver, not only in the warehouses, but in the world to back these ETFs. And the only recourse that the government had was to primarily bring down the market and crash it, and that's exactly what they did. How illegal is that? How sickening is it to know that all of us that have been right the market, that put up our hard-earned money and did the right thing for 13 years in a row, and this is what the government is capable of doing. It happened with J.P. Morgan. It's happening with Goldman Sachs. It happened with Lehman, which is why the market came crashing down in 2008, and now it's going to happen again. So the lies that are coming out of the government at this point because of desperation are paramount. It's just an unbelievable situation. There's another major article in the newsletter this week which talk about Wall Street Advisor. Actual unemployment is 37.2%, and misery index is the worst in 40 years. And again, those are numbers that we rely on in order to make predictions in the market, and the government's been lying about that too. They say that the unemployment numbers are 6.8%, when the true number is 37%, which are depression-type numbers. Don't forget that's what they're facing in Europe also, 65% in certain parts of Europe amongst college kids coming out of school. So the fact is that the middle class is getting killed here in the United States. Their wages are not going up, and that's where most of the economy in the United States is actually determined by the middle class, and the middle class is becoming poor. So we've got major situations going on here in the United States. You know, Randy and I do this every single week. You know, we look for situations and we look for the right information that's going to, you know, give our clients the information that they need to make an intelligent business decision, and that's what we do. But the fact is that you've got on one hand people seeing that the stock market is rallying and say, boy, these guys are dead wrong, when the fact is that the news that's coming out of the mainstream media is wrong. We're not wrong. Look at what also came out in this week's newsletter. Record 20% of households on food stamps in 2013 in the United States. How in the world is that possible? That if the economy is getting so strong in the United States and things are getting better, how could 20% of the households be on food stamps? And we also know that that food stamp program is going to start to diminish. So they're afraid that that's going to cause major problems with rioting here in the United States. So you got to get the newsletter this week because it is loaded with information that you need to know in order to make an intelligent business decision. Look at the Canadian dollar. You're not going to notice, you know, how weak the Canadian dollar is at this point unless you travel. Even if you go to the United States at this point, you're going to find that the Canadian dollar is 10 to 11% less than the weak U.S. dollar. And the Canadian government is doing this on purpose because it helps the export situation. You're going to notice how weak the Canadian dollar is when you go anywhere where their dollar is stronger. So the U.S., which has a pathetic currency, is still 10 or 11% stronger than the U.S. dollar is. Than the Canadian dollar is. And then if you went to Europe, you'd have shell shock because you would find that the euro, which is another currency that's in trouble, but it's so much stronger than the U.S. and Canadian dollar, you'd be paying 30 or 40% more if you go to Europe converting Canadian dollars to euros. So the fact is that things are tough right now, and this is a year of 2014 when a lot of situations can come to the forefront. I think that the situations are starting to unwind. People are now starting to understand how severe the situation here is in the United States. Again, you've had a 500-point drop in the Dow this week alone, and if it wasn't for quantitative easing, if it wasn't for the fact that the Federal Reserve is putting, you know, close to $85 billion a month into the bond, stock, and real estate markets, we would be looking at a Dow Jones at about 8,000 to 9,000. So that's where the Dow should be. So you should really understand that if you have your money sitting in the stock market right now, the fact is that all these situations, as they start to unwind, it's like a domino effect. And when that happens, you're going to find that the Dow is going to go back to where it should be. And the Dow should be sitting right now at about 8,500 to 9,000 points, according to my calculations. And I don't think I'm wrong. I think that you show the S&P 500 at record prices and no growth in the economy, most analysts would say that's an impossible situation. So, again, things are starting to show up now. 2014 could be a tremendous year. Could be a tremendous year for hard assets because currencies are in big, big trouble, and hard assets like gold, silver, and diamonds basically are a hedge against the bad currency market, and we couldn't have a worse currency market than we have right now. However, let's see what happens in the next few months because, again, the currency markets are doing horrible because most of the governments are reducing their interest rates down to 0 or 1%. So, Randy, again, this was an interesting week. Gold and silver rallied. Gold's at 2-month highs right now. We're very close to breaking out again in gold and silver. And again, when that happens, it's going to catch a whole slew of investors going the wrong way. And that's called short covering. It means that when you're short the market, like a lot of investors are in gold right now, especially when gold prices get high, but all of a sudden they're short. That means they're betting the market's going to go down. But all of a sudden some news hits and the market starts to fly. And these people that are short the market, they've got to buy their positions back. And that's called short covering. And that could cause the price of gold to spike $300, which is what was just in the article that Randy just mentioned. So again, get the newsletter this week. It's extremely important. There's things happening around the world that you don't know about, and you need to know about it because you can only make a financial decision based on strong current news, and that's what we try to bring to you every week. So, Randy, I think that we're going to see some serious situations happening in 2014, and it's already starting to happen. We've seen a 500-point decline in the Dow. We've seen, again, the currency markets going south. We've seen lies coming out of Wall Street like you've never seen before. We see countries, going into major problems with inflation and bad currencies. 2014, you got to be very, very careful, and don't be so high on paper assets because those are the first markets that are going to plummet.
Connect with Worldwide Precious Metals. This is the company Harold recommends you use when it comes to investing in gold, silver, platinum, palladium. Precious Metals experts out of Vancouver, Canadian company in business for well over 10 years. Connect with them, wwpmc.com. 1-866-623-2002. Get your name on the list for our free weekly newsletter. Worldwide, they are the experts to trust and work with in this very specialized market, precious metals. Now, you can start your own precious metals investment account today. All gold is allocated either wholesale or premium. They're there to help you maximize profit, minimize the risk. You will have instant liquidity in and out of the market with just a phone call. 24/7 online access. The metal can be stored in your behalf, insured to the full value of your investment. Ask about domestic or foreign storage and premium storage in specific coin and bar form. Stored metal is outside the banking system, which is so important. The metal can be delivered to your door. Worldwide is there to help you access the physical precious metals you want today. Connect with them. wwpmc.com, 1-866-623-2002. As we mentioned off the top of the show, we have outstanding information on gold and silver in our newsletter, but there is one article, and I've said this privately to friends for quite some time. I personally believe this is the main reason we are going to have financial problems for a long, long time. And Eric Schmidt, he is the chairman of Google. He agrees with my theory. He gave a fireside chat in Davos at the Economic Forum that was held this week. In the context of talking about global inequality, Schmidt thinks it's partly the result of technology and is going to get worse before it gets better. Schmidt revealed a critical truth about the economy that few other successful investors and executives appear to understand or at least admit. The stagnation in the middle-class wages is not just a middle-class problem. It's an economic problem, and it's one of the main reasons that the global economy growth is so lousy. Why do stagnant middle-class wages hurt the economy? Because the middle-class folks whose wages are stagnant are the globe's economic biggest spenders. And when they don't have money to spend, their lack of spending hurts not just them, but the companies that depend on them for revenue, including, Schmidt points out, Google. Put differently, one company's expenses, wages, is another company's revenue. So collectively, when companies are cutting wages, they are also cutting their own future revenue growth. Right now, companies are so focused on cutting wages by paying their employees as little as possible and replacing them with technology wherever possible, that wages as a percentage of the economy are now at a near all-time low. And the weakness in wages is the big reason demand in the economy is so weak. And Harold, I remember Henry Ford saying that I want my workers to be able to afford to buy my product, the Ford vehicle. I need to pay them a wage where they can afford this vehicle. And this is some of the challenging times that we live in here, where we're seeing, because of robotics, we're seeing because of corporations holding billions of dollars on their balance sheets, not wanting to release the money. They just keep cutting and cutting and cutting. And we're in a situation where the cutting does have ramifications. And this is why my own personal belief is, until something changes, which I don't see that happening, we are going to be in a time where we're going to have low interest rates for a long, long period. We're going to have hard assets doing well for a long, long period of time because, let's face it, nothing is going to change. And we have about 2 minutes here, Harold.
Well, you're right, because, again, there's nothing that they can do at this particular point, because if they stop with quantitative easing, you can see what's happening. The stock market could drop a couple thousand points in a couple days, and they would freak out over that, and they would just go back to doing the same thing. So, again, they're in a catch-22. If they raise interest rates, the stock market's going to fall, and the real estate recovery, if that's actually happening, is going to be hurt by that. Also, the bond market will fall as they raise interest rates. So I don't know what they're going to do, but the fact is that they don't have too many options, and everything points towards exactly the reason why we're in hard assets. Currency devaluation and potential extremely high inflation. And again, we've stuck by that for all these years now, and it's not that we're crazy. It's just that it's an action-reaction type of thing. When interest rates are low, the dollar drops, and when they print all this money, the dollar's going to fall even further. So it's only a matter of time till gold comes back and breaks 2,000, silver breaks 50, and all the markets go our way again. And that's not far off at all. In actual fact, we're very, very close to that at this time.
James Turk, great quote from him this week. Over the past 13 years, and we have a chart in our newsletter of how the markets have done over the last roughly 13 years, gold has advanced 13% per annum on average. The last 2 years have been significant down years. So I expect extremely strong 2014 for gold, meaning gold is set to break $2,000 this year. Investors really have to be focused on much higher prices. The trend is clearly higher on a short-term and long-term basis now. People should expect to see $1,500 near-term and a break above 2,000 at some point later this year. Educate yourself. That's the key to investing. It's the key to life. Knowledge is power, but applied knowledge obviously is even more powerful. And Worldwide Precious Metals is going to help you apply the knowledge by having hard assets in your portfolio today. Speak with them. wwpmc.com is their website. Outstanding website, lots of good information. Their telephone number, 1-866-623-2002. Educate yourself as to why you should have hard assets in your portfolio. Get our free weekly newsletter from them, one of the strongest newsletters we've had in a long time. It's going to take you through all the current situations that are happening in the world financially and geopolitically. Going to come back and talk about Harold's auction as the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall, continues right after this. Welcome back to the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us by the telephone, our financial and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping our show on January 24th, 2014. Our time is 9:03 in the morning Mountain. Our radio show runs on your favorite radio stations and should remind you, starting next week in Edmonton on 6:30 CHED, we are going to be moving from Sunday afternoon at 3 to Saturday afternoon at 3. So listen for us Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock starting on February the 1st. Radio show is archived on Harold's websites, hesradio.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, podcast through iTunes. Type in World Financial Report on Radio. Find us there. You can take us anywhere via your portable device. Harold does daily market commentary, too. Find it on his website and on the podcast site as well. When it comes to investing in gold and silver, there's only one company Harold recommends you use, Worldwide Precious Metals. They have an outstanding website that gives you all the knowledge you need as to why you should be invested in the hard asset market. Check them out at wwpmc.com. The telephone number to connect with them personally and privately, 1-866-623-2002. Harold's website for diamonds is rarecoloreddiamonds.com. rarecoloreddiamonds.com. And this week's diamond is a 1.30 carat cushion cut, fancy, vivid, yellow, internally flawless. If you go to the website, you can see video of the diamond there. It is absolutely stunning. We have a picture of it in our newsletter, a link that takes you through to the website. And you definitely want to speak with Harold about investing in our featured Diamond of the Week. One of the interesting stories of the week, a rare $17 million blue diamond, thought to be the clearest ever, was found and discovered in South Africa. And it will be sold, and you can read that story in our newsletter. Harold's website for auctions, hsfineauctions.com, hsfineauctions.com. Next auction coming up on February the 5th, 6 Mountain, 8 Eastern. 6 Mountain, 8 Eastern. And Harold, we have some outstanding items there. We've got collectible coins, gold and silver coins. We have pink diamonds. We have a beautiful heart-shaped pink diamond ring that is just absolutely stunning. But it's going to be a massive sale auction, and we encourage everyone to be a part of it on February the 5th, 6 Mountain, 8 Eastern. The website is hsfineauctions.com.
Thank you, Randy. How beautiful are the videos of some of these diamonds on the auction site?
Oh, just stunning.
That 101 pair fancy vivid yellow diamond ring. Oh my God, with the pinks and just stunning. And I love the diamond that you talked about. Also, the little heart shape for Valentine's Day is beautiful. But if you also notice, there's some very large Argyle pinks. There's a 45-point round. There's a 43-point radiant cut. There's a 40-point round intense pink Argyle. All these diamonds are collector diamonds. They're amazing. And once you realize that 95% of the Argyle pink diamonds are under a quarter carat, you realize that these 40-pointers and 45-pointers are ridiculously rare, and they go up tremendously in value. In fact, we believe that these are amongst the best investment diamonds you could ever buy, and we're only 6 years away from the mine closing down. So these diamonds go up by 15 to 20 to 50% a year, depending on the color. The vivids are going up close to 50% a year. They're doubling in 2 years now. And soon you will not be able to get any vivid pink Argyle diamonds. We've invested very, very heavily in them. They're the best color that you can possibly get, and consequently they go up more than almost any other asset. The same with vivid yellow diamonds. The price of the rough of vivid yellow diamonds has doubled in the past couple of years because there's hardly any available. So when you're looking at these diamonds, when you buy the very best, you always get the most back for it. But added to the fact that there's none of these available, if you go on my website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, go to the loose diamonds section, look at the yellow diamonds for example. Even though there's all different types of yellows, we carry the best colors, the fancy yellow, the fancy intense, and the fancy vivid. Well, we probably have 10 fancy vivid yellow flawless diamonds, which are amongst the best yellow diamonds to buy, but none of our competitors have any. So the fact is, you're talking that these diamonds are almost non-existent. For those of my clients that own these type of diamonds, the next 5 to 10 years will show you gigantic returns, probably bigger returns than you've ever seen on investments before. And the same thing with the Argyle pink diamonds. There will not be any more pink diamonds and within the next 6 to 8 years. And if you're one of the fortunate few to own one of these, you're talking about a gigantic payday. You're talking about diamonds today that sell for $50,000 and will be $500,000. You're talking about diamonds today that are $100,000 that will be $800,000 to $1 million, and you're talking about diamonds that are close to $1 million today, like these 1-carat vivid pink argyles that we're the only company that has, and those diamonds will be $4 or $5 million diamonds. So again, these opportunities come around very, very seldom. The fact is that there's only one mine in the world right now that produces pink diamonds, and that's the Argyle mine, and that mine is going to close. There will not be any more pink diamonds, and the prices are starting to be reflected in the markets right now. So make sure you attend this auction, because you're going to be able to buy Argyle pink diamonds at fantastic prices. By the way, every diamond that goes up for sale on this particular auction are my own personal diamonds. The reason that I'm selling is because I need to promote my auction business to grow it and grow it and grow it. So eventually, when my clients are ready to sell, that we have a network of high net worth clients all over the world, and that's what our major goal is. In fact, we are actually being hooked up with one of the top charities in the world that deals with, women's breast cancer, and again, we are looking at promoting pink diamonds through them. It's a natural situation, so I couldn't be more excited about the projects that we're working on. Again, we've invested very heavily for our clients in pink, yellow, green, deep flawless diamonds, and these are all the diamonds that are going up the most of any other type of diamonds. Now, the blue diamond that Randy spoke about today, back in 2005, you could have bought a vivid blue diamond for about $500,000 a carat. I'm sorry, about $200,000 a carat, and now those same diamonds are $2 million a carat if you could ever possibly get one. We'll be saying the exact same thing about pinks. So don't let this pass you by. You've known about it for quite a while. We talk about these diamonds every single week. They're the most amazing diamonds that you could buy. They're the most concentrated form of wealth in the world. But the fact is they're in very, very short supply. And the fact is that this will be something that you will remember forever. You had the opportunity to invest in a market that for all intents and purposes makes so much sense. They're the most sought-after diamonds. They're the most beautiful, concentrated form of wealth in the world. There's hardly any of them available, and soon there won't be any. That is a recipe for tremendously higher prices. There's some very amazing diamonds up on the auction site. There's a $120,000 1.06 fancy light pink diamond ring that will take your breath away. Try to get a pink diamond over a carat that sells in the 120,000 range. It's just non-existent. The same thing with the heart-shaped diamond, which will be the last diamond auctioned off for the night. It's a 101 light pink diamond heart ring. It's gorgeous. Just look at the video on it. The color of it is absolutely stunning, and it's a beautiful Valentine's Day gift. Probably one of the rarest pieces of all to go up on the site is a 35-point pure orange diamond. Pure orange diamonds are as rare as red diamonds. In fact, an orange diamond is a combination of yellow and red. There's only a handful of pure orange diamonds that have ever been found in the world, and we have one of them going up for sale. Look at the video on it. It's a pure orange diamond. Go on the internet and read about orange diamonds. You'll realize how rare this diamond is, and one lucky bidder is going to win this orange diamond on February the 5th when we have this amazing auction. This auction will be viewed by people all over the world. In fact, we have on our auction, which is a one-of-a-kind business. There's no other virtual auction site in the world that does what our business does. You could literally attend this auction from the comfort of your own home and partake in one of the most exciting experiences that you've ever had in your lifetime. People get addicted to this. It's so much fun. And if you notice that when you go to the HS Fine Auctions and you look at the catalog, we have an automated bidding system that many people are using. We have a lot of bidders in China, Australia, and throughout Europe that the time difference is so strong that they put in their automatic bids. Also, we've included some coin sets. The first one is a Finnish numismatic collector coin that's estimated value at about $250, but it's a combination of gold and silver coin. It's so beautiful. You'll never see another coin like it. We have a religious piece, the Pope, the Prophet of Peace. It's a $350 coin that will probably sell for more than $350 because you can't get these. It's a silver ingot that is just absolutely amazing. It's 25 grams of silver, and it's 10 francs of face value. Then you've got the Pope John Paul nomination anniversary, 25th, that again, you'll never find these on the internet because they don't exist. It's from my private collection. There's a platinum koala two-coin set that is just spectacular. Platinum is trading at $1,400 an ounce right now. Then two of my favorite pieces from my own collection that broke my heart to put up on the auction site, but they're so important that, again, we want to create as much excitement with this auction as possible. So I put up my set of Natura Wildcats of Africa, the cheetah. It's worth at least $3,500 or more, and they are absolutely the most beautiful pieces that you've ever seen, and they're 24-karat gold Krugerrands. They're just stunning. Look at the photographs on them. You will never see another piece like this. And then I believe this is about the only one for sale in the world, but it's the diamondized snake kilo coin. It's 2.2 pounds, 1 kilo of 99.99 silver. It is one of the most amazing collector coins. It is so heavy, and it's pure silver. And again, it's from 2001. I did see one on eBay, and it was going for a minimum of $4,500. And then you've got this vivid yellow diamond ring that will take your breath away. It's so beautiful, and vivids are the best diamonds you could get. And then all the argyle pinks, and it's just going to be a phenomenal auction. I'm very, very excited. And whoever does purchase at this particular auction, you're talking about some of the most amazing pieces that you'll do nothing but make a fortune on. We want you to invest in these diamonds at our auction, get great prices, put these away for the next 6 or 7 years till the mine closes down, and then give us an opportunity to sell them for you at a profit on our auction 7 years from now. You'll make a ton of money, and we only charge 10% of the profit. We charge way less than Christie's and Sotheby's that charge 25% or more on each end. So, Randy, it's going to be one of our best auctions. We actually have 18 pieces going up for auction. It's going to be a memorable night. We have people from all over the world attending. And again, if you're interested in making money in the rare colored diamond market, definitely attend this auction from the comfort of your own home. It's going to be a real thrilling night.
And we should mention, this does not go on for 5 hours or 3 hours. Usually it's about an hour and a half, so it's not going to take up a lot of your time. Just know that ahead of time. One thing I wanted to touch on with the Prophet of Peace, this is not Pope Francis, our current Pope, who's very, very popular, or Pope Benedict. This is the legendary Pope, Pope John Paul II. And he had coins, and I know that we had many of our listeners invest in those coins through our show, the Pope John Paul collection through the Vatican. And we had those coins a number of years ago. When Pope John Paul passed away, those coin collections were buried with him. I remember the story specifically. When Pope John Paul passed, they put in his casket these coin collections that were made for him. And it would not surprise me at all if this Pope Prophet of Peace is one of the coins, one of the ingots that they have in his casket for obviously all eternity at this point. But I remember that specifically when Pope John Paul II did pass, and those Vatican set of coins, very, very popular. Go to HS.
I'm sorry, Randy. I have some of those. I just have never put them up for auction. And you were 100% right, because I've got these sets put away, and I had to. The only way I could get them is that people were lined up in Vatican City to buy them. I had to contact people, and I didn't really know too many people there, and I had to bank wire funds to them so they could buy these sets for me and send them back. Fortunately, the people that I dealt with were honorable, and I do have these sets put away, and I have a couple clients that actually have full sets of these, as I do, and I got to tell you, they've probably gone up from around 10 or 15,000 that we paid for them when we bought them to well over $100,000 today. And again, these are priceless pieces that you will never ever see again. I've never seen one of them auctioned off, and I do have them put away, and I may bring one of them to auction within one of the next few auctions, but whoever does get them, you're talking about a piece of history that could never ever be duplicated.
And he was a legendary pope, went for a long time, and very, very highly thought of and well-loved. The website, hsfineauctions.com. Next auction, Wednesday, February the 5th, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain. And Harold, what we want people to do is go to the website and take a look at the catalog. You can find it in our free weekly newsletter as well. Take a look at the catalog. Take a look at the past catalogs and some of the different items that have been auctioned off and sold over the past year and a half. And you'll get an idea of what this is all about. But people, do they need to pre-register for this auction, Harold?
Yes, they do. And it's very simple. You just go to the website, which is HS for Harold Siegel, fineauctions.com, and you go to the Getting Started section. It's that simple. Just fill out the information, and we will confirm that we received your information. Then on the day of the actual auction, we will send you a link, and all you do a half an hour before the auction starts is click on the link, let it download, and sit back and get ready. Now, this is not like an eBay site where you sit there and you type in your bids and wait and see and da-da-da-da-da. Ours is live, real-time, exciting, and I sell every single piece. So, again, you're going to just picture this. You're going to be sitting in your own home. You're going to be waiting for the auction to start. You'll see the countdown happen. Then all of a sudden I'll come on and explain and welcome everybody, explain the rules, and then the auction starts. And as Randy mentioned, it takes about an hour. You're going to find that it is so exciting that so many people participate. We get hundreds of people on the site. Now, not everybody is bidding because we're constantly finding new people that are attracted to our site, and the first few times they may want to watch, and you can do the same thing. But it'll give you a great indication as to how this business is and how we're changing the diamond business, because a diamond is only a good investment if it could be resold, and we built the secondary market to resell our clients' diamonds. Now, at this particular point, the items that are going up for bid are my personal collection, and again, where it does pain me to sell these, I'm doing it because it's imperative that we build our auction business. And that's why we've been on Bloomberg 3 times in the last 6 months, because they're blown away by the secondary market that we created. Probably the most important thing that we've ever done in the diamond business was create the secondary market in order for people to sell medium-priced diamonds. Don't forget, Christie's and Sotheby's will sell diamonds in the 10 million range and type of thing. Most of our clients that invest in diamonds buy diamonds for $20,000, $50,000, $100,000, and there's never been an avenue to sell those till now. We built hsfineauctions.com. We built it for you, our listeners and clients. And again, we only make money when you make money. So with everything happening in the world right now, you're seeing currencies being devalued. You're seeing stock markets starting to sell off. You're seeing countries in major trouble and governments lying and unemployment and everything. There's no better investment than a hard asset at this point. Gold, silver, and certain diamonds will get you through these difficult times and actually make you an awful lot of money.
RareColoredDiamonds.com is Harold's website for diamonds. It's like going to a museum online and seeing nature's art. And when you get our free weekly newsletter, you'll see that blue diamond that was discovered. And the reason they make such a big deal out of it, blue diamonds, very, very rare. And anytime there's a discovery like this, it is just like finding a Picasso that has been hidden away for a long, long period of time. And this is nature's art, and it's rare, it's unique, and when they finally actually do find a diamond like that, that's just the start. As it's rough right now. Now they're going to have to spend a long period of time figuring out how they want to cut and polish it and turn it into a magnificent piece. And that's when, obviously, it will be auctioned off. It will be given a name, and then it will go into the history books, along with a lot of other outstanding diamonds that we've spoken about on our show for a number of years, because it's the rarest of the rare. Our RareColoredDiamonds.com featured diamond this week, a 1.30 carat cushion cut fancy, vivid, yellow, internally flawless. Go to the website, click on Featured Diamond of the Week. You'll see the diamond there. There's a video for it. And Harold, one thing you've touched on, these yellow diamonds are starting to get very, very hard to get. You have connections all over the world, and even you have struggled at times to get people to actually get you the yellow diamonds that your clients want.
You better believe it. And we only carry flawless. So our diamonds are investment quality diamonds. Anything under that really is not considered as strong as an investment. Vivid is the highest color grade, and there's hardly any available. The part of the mantle where these diamonds come from are empty, and there's not going to be any more of these type of diamonds. So if you own one, you're going to make a lot of money with it. If you want to own one, contact us, because these diamonds are in very, very short supply, and these diamonds are off the charts amazing. I mean, you're talking about diamonds that you can't get anymore, and when a rough diamond, a vivid yellow diamond, does become available, the prices are double what they were 2 years ago. So we're ecstatic about this. We've got some of the most beautiful vivid yellows. The cushion cut that's being featured this week is just absolutely stunning. It's basically a square cut diamond where the corners are shaved off into a cushion cut, which is one of the most popular cuts. 85% of all colored diamonds are cut in cushion cuts and radiant cuts. And again, it really shows off the magnificent color. This is a really beautiful diamond that whoever does end up with it will make a lot of money on it, because again, there's only very, very few of them available, and you just can't get these anymore. So the 130 cushion cut fancy vivid yellow flawless, one of the best investment diamonds you could buy, and the diamond is under 100,000. Whoever buys it is going to make an awful lot of money. We have about 10 vivid yellow flawless diamonds. The other thing is, this year, there's maybe only about 100 yellow flawless diamonds that become available in a year for the entire world. We're taking 100 of our yellow flawless diamonds, and we're making a one-of-a-kind yellow flawless diamond 100-carat necklace. We're going to make a matching bracelet, matching earrings and ring. That will take off the market about 150 carats of yellow flawless diamonds. What do you think is going to happen with the price? There's so few of these available, along with the fact that we are going to auction this piece off, hopefully on our auction site, on a very special auction. But again, you're talking about a very, very tiny market of the most spectacular pieces, and all of our yellow diamonds are flawless, and they're all hitting records at auction.
Harold has been on Bloomberg Television, interviewed. Obviously, you can see that at Bloomberg.com. We have the video of Harold's 2 visits to Bloomberg, and he was on Bloomberg Radio as well. If you would like to see the interviews, both times Harold brought pieces of jewelry that belonged to Liz Taylor. And Deirdre Bolton, the host of the first time that Harold was on, she was stunned having the diamonds put around her neck. And then the second time, Carol Masser, she was in the same position as Deirdre, where it was just something that took her breath away. And privately, they said to Harold that they were just so ecstatic. One of the highlights of their career, to have a piece of jewelry around their neck that had been worn and had been designed and had belonged to Liz Taylor. And that's the thing that you can't put a price tag on. It's simply priceless. When you're talking about diamonds and diamond jewelry, they are literally nature's art, works of art. And when they have the story, the backstory, as so many of them do, being owned by celebrities and the famous, rich and famous, it just takes them to a whole other level. And Harold, we're just so excited about the auction coming up on February the 1st. It's a Wednesday, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain. hsfineauctions.com. Go there right now and register. Take a look at the catalog that we have. Take a look at past catalogs of the different items that were auctioned off. Give you an idea of what's to come in the weeks and years ahead. And I should remind you, and this is important, because if you're like me and you're brand new to it, you don't want to have to be bidding right out of the gate. And you do not have to. All you need to do is go there, sit back, see what's all involved. And then when you feel comfortable, then you can start bidding. The other thing I like, the new feature that Harold instituted, is if for some reason you cannot make it, would like to put a bid in, you can put a bid in and you do not have to be there. Harold, we have about 30 seconds left. Going to be another outstanding auction for hsfineauctions.com.
You bet. The date is February the 5th, 8 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Mountain. I'll be there. I hope you will be too. And again, it's going to be one of the best auctions we've ever had. Just look at the catalog. You're going to pick out what you want, and let's have some fun. And let's make some money together. This is a very exciting time.
Thank you, Harold.
My pleasure. I wish everybody a wonderful weekend and a very profitable day.
Connect with Harold, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022, hsfineauctions.com, and that's the website. February 5th, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain. And Harold recommends only one company when it comes to investing in gold and silver, Worldwide Precious Metals, www.pmc.com, telephone number 1-866-623-2002. Get that chart from them, from City Analyst Tom Fitzpatrick. He says a short squeeze in gold could create a violent $340 surge in the price of gold. If we clear 270 where we are today, we could see a quick $100 surge that could eventually take us to $1,700. Find out more. Connect with Worldwide. That's it. Another edition of the World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall. We will talk to you next week.